Hey everybody, this is Doing Lines. This is the sports betting podcast where we bet on all the sort of not quite the sports of all the sports. And mostly just football, but I say sports because it's more fun. I'm your host Kyle Ayers, joined as always by my co-host Austin Huff.
That's it's an impression of my house right now.
Oh, I really thought everything was messing up.
While
Oh
I'm just
man,
talking
just
to you.
construction happening. That's all right.
It
That's
is,
all right.
yeah, burst pipe last week and heating issues with my house too, which is perfect for the Chicago winters, honestly.
I'm the same
Um,
way. Like I can barely go outside without only one layer of sleeves on. So I understand what you guys are saying.
I,
It's all right.
I literally texted Kyle last week and said, just enjoy where you live, enjoy the weather
And I did.
because there is no place like Southern California when it comes to weather.
It's really something.
It is beautiful
If you
year
guys see,
round.
I'm in a little bit different setup here in a new recording space that's being set up, just recording. And in the progress, Daniel, our guest, will be joining me just in the chair next to me here as well. It's going to be fun when he just pops up in this empty chair. But
Yeah, we
anyways,
should
so
do like a cool transition so it looks like he just appears out of
like a
nowhere,
star
you know?
wipe to him.
Yeah.
If this is your first time listening, each week Austin and I come up with 6 bets that have to do with sports, but not really the sports of sports. So,
Mhm.
how many times do they show this person in the stands? Who knows who I could be talking about? Does anyone bleed? Was a weird bet we had today. It's all over the place. They're measurable, but they're not real.
Yeah.
And to recap last week, the divisional round of the playoffs, with our guest Kevin Wheeler, who lost $1,000 because his parlay, 45-1 parlay across 6 bets didn't hit. If you can believe it, this is a guy building the casinos. Their casinos is betting
Yeah.
on these.
Yeah, right. That was, look, it was a bold choice
Mm-hmm.
and it did not pay out
It didn't pay
at
out.
all.
Let's
No.
some of the bets, the 13 going on 30. Will they reference 13 seconds more than there are 30-yard plays? There were only two 30-yard plays in that game, and they were both to Marquez Valdez Scantling.
That is the upset of the century. Those almost shouldn't have counted,
And
honestly.
so the 30-yard plays did not hit because they talked about 13 seconds 4 times, and there was one play of exactly 13 yards, which was the Bills' touchdown. So 13 beat that. But my bad beat of the week last week was the number 1 picks bet. Baker Mayfield was going against Jared Goff, 2 former number 1 overall picks. Will either player have exactly 1 interception?
This
And
one this one
the
made me
answer was
mad.
no. Jared Goff had 0. Baker Mayfield had 2, throwing his second pick on the last play of the game. So this bet
That
was
one
hitting
was
until literally the last. This is a half-court shot to hit
literally
the over.
unbelievable bad beat for that one. And I
And
think I think I had the yes
you did have the
in that.
yes on this one, and
Yeah.
and actually Kevin had the yes as well. He still would have missed the parlay because there was not a lot of offense in the Houston Ravens game. But
Right.
he hit 4 of his 6, and this was one of the 2 he missed. So Kevin missed $1,000, lost $1,000 last week. Austin, you made $700. You had a pretty good week.
Not to brag.
I made $650,
So I
which
gained
now
50
you
bucks
gained
on you.
$50 on me. The
Better
total
watch
is
out, dude.
I am watching out. We do it over
It-
Zoom every week. I'm at $3,050. You're at $2,800. We have 3 weeks left in the NFL season if you include next week's surprise episode of Life Bets. But we're joined by a great guest this week, Daniel Hartigan. I'm sorry we love football. I want to get right into it because we talked to him about football a little bit up top, recapping some stuff. So you don't need it from just us.
I also didn't know that you played college football. That's awesome, dude.
Yeah. I mean, I was a walk-on, so it was like
I almost walked on.
Playing is a loose term.
I played D3 in college, so
Okay, all right.
yeah, you know.
So you played more than you actually played.
I did play, but obviously the competition far less.
Austin and I did improv together in college, and that's how we met.
Yeah.
And Austin's parents came to one of the shows. And we're all sitting before the show, and we're like, "Hey,
It was
it's
my
so good that
very
you'll
first
be-"
show.
This is like very first time he'd ever done. He'd been like practicing with the
Oh
improv
my
group,
God,
and his
yeah.
parents were like, "You know, we went to the football games. This will be nice because we'll actually get to see him do something."
Yeah. We drove all this way and actually get to see him
Just to rip
perform.
on Austin before the show.
Yeah, I was like, awesome. That helps the confidence.
So we'll do how we'll line it up is we'll lay out all 6 of our bets.
Okay.
And then you can allocate your $1,000.
Okay.
The important thing to remember is one of your bets has to be a lock, which is double the winnings, triple the losses. and you're allowed to do any parlays you want. You can tell us whatever the odds of those are because we don't know what that means. And thankfully, no ones have hit, so we haven't had to look up what a parlay is yet.
Cool.
And then that's pretty much it.
Great. I have a charity ready to go.
Awesome.
I have a bet if we need one. It's a bad bet, so
You can throw bets in for
Ooh.
sure.
Yeah.
I don't feel great.
It's not
I mean,
great.
I want to keep in all that early stuff, so we're just going to get right into it. We're
Let's
here
go.
with Sorry We Love Football's Daniel Hartigan, Eagles fan. You can tell he's an Eagles fan by how he's top to bottom in other sports things at the moment.
We actually had an Eagles bet last week on the
We did.
podcast.
Will
It was whether
Yeah, go ahead.
whether,
Austin.
whether or not the Eagles would make headlines over the weekend, and we got to Sunday night with silence from Philadelphia before Sirianni decided to can the defensive coordinator.
Yeah.
And also including that bet was whether or not AJ Brown would tweet or Instagram post, since he is kind of off social media right now.
Yeah.
But
I think that it would if it didn't happen with that distinctive something, a Jason Kelsey argument would have come out about whether or not this counts as like national headlines.
great point.
that's actually a great point. Yeah.
That was dirty that they did that during the games on Sunday. I don't like when a team forces their way when they've been eliminated. You need to go away for a little while. I'm sure you have to still make your decisions.
Nick Sirianni seems like he likes the attention.
Yeah, I didn't like that.
When he fired the guy, he literally he screamed at him and said, "See ya!"
He was already fired is the thing. They just made him hang out with the team for a couple extra weeks. It was
like he had like the Xbox Live login, so they're like, actually, you hang out for a little bit because we. Why is that my example?
Yeah,
I like it.
And-
I like it actually. Sean Desai had the codes, and now he doesn't because they changed everything.
I'm looking.
And
back
now Matt
through-
Patricia's going to be both the offensive and defensive coordinators, right?
Oh boy,
Matt Patricia is always the
gone,
most
too.
defensive coordinator because he's always like defending his decisions. He's not like a defensive coordinator. He's a defensive coordinator. I think it's the big difference in how you pronounce it right there. You're like, why'd you do that? He's like, I'm sorry. Bill Belichick used to be my dad.
That was a great Matt Patricia.
It
Yeah,
was.
hold on.
yeah.
Let me shove a pen into my hat.
There it is.
I'm
Yeah.
trying to move on from the Matt Patricia experience. I'm on to next season.
I think if people think there's nepotism in Hollywood, this guy still has a job. This guy's still out here like getting roles like Kevin Spacey. It's absolutely wild. You're like, you have not proven anything in a while, and in fact, you've disproven a lot. And Matt Patricia's like making weird YouTube videos.
I was gonna go there. I was gonna say I want Matt Patricia around the holidays once a year to drop some
Well, it's,
ominous
yeah.
YouTube video.
You know, the way Bill Belichick developed me, I know how you can run this cover 2 defense while still getting pressure. And then he knocks a couple times. Isn't that like the thing the Netflix show guy did? He would knock on
Yes,
stuff.
yes. The House of Cards character,
Anyways,
Frank Underwood.
Kevin Spacey literally got growth stunted into permanently being Frank Underwood.
He really did.
Well, we don't, let's get into some bets. This conference championship weekend, only 2 games. Austin and I have 6 total bets. Since we're all pretty wealthy people, I mean, look at us. We're in a professionally lit studio.
We are.
We're all folks of means here. We play simply for charity, not for ourselves.
And I don't know if you can hear it in the background, but I'm getting like work done on my house right now. So
That's true.
I mean, mainly because of a pipe burst, but yeah, they are doing some heavy cutting right now. And if you guys can't hear that, then that is beyond
This
me.
is like
'cause
a
it's the only
testament
thing
to
I can hear
sure,
right now.
I think, that we can't hear this.
Yeah,
you're
this
right.
should be a commercial for sure. Microphones.
For sure. So we always play for a charity. And Daniel's our charity that you're wanting to earn some money for today.
There is actually. So I'll get to the name of the charity at the end, but my charity is Art for Robots. I think we need to start appealing to robots before it gets too late. So get this. Right now we're forcing all these robots to make art. We're forcing the robots to make our art now. So
Right.
my thought is we get out ahead of it. We make art for them so they might consider chilling out for a second before they start killing us all. So it's like the crying Wesley Snipes meme where he's pointing the gun. I want that moment of hesitation before I get zapped by a heat laser or whatever in the near future.
They're like, oh man, this guy let me watch Goodfellas.
Yeah, we're going to open a museum, some sort of safe space for robots to come and view thought-provoking shit. And who knows what the robot mind is interested in art-wise, but we're going to attempt to find out. So my charity is Art for Androids, Representation for Robots. So please, we're going to donate our winnings to Art for Androids, Representation for Robots. Obviously, we have to do this on the hush, so we only accept cash. If they trace this at all, the jig is up. You,
That's true. We are doing this over many robots right now.
absolutely. So yeah, don't. La, 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 la.
Well,
So
and the nice thing is you guys are in person too, so you can make that exchange,
we can.
that money
We can.
exchange very
That's
easily.
why I'm here.
Yeah.
That's why I'm here. Yeah.
Especially because I'm beating Austin by so much this year.
All
that
right.
I have a good
that was
bankroll of
unnecessary.
cash.
Yeah, I hope the robots hear this now. You know,
I want to show the robots Jackson Pollock and then be like, I could make this. Like they're like those people who go to like the MoMA and they look at like a Liechtenstein or something that's just a pattern and
Yeah.
they're like, how is this art? I could do this. And you're like, yeah, we tried to let you do it, and so far you can't even like spell a word right.
I think it'll be a nice mix of our classics from all time, and then we'll get cater some pieces towards them as well. So
Okay.
I want something that is it's such a hit with the robots
Okay.
that they gather there. We get them all into one place,
Mhm.
Okay.
and then we can keep track of them a little bit.
And then we blow that place up.
I think so.
Do we think that when the rise of the machine happens, not if, but when, that they like, instead of like, because we all think like, oh, they're gonna kill us. Like we've all seen like one too many James Cameron movies where it's like they're not gonna spare our lives at all. I think it's gonna be quite the contrary. Like everything we're making AI do today, like write cover letters and and give us art. I think they're going to, in turn, just make us do that back to them. Like, they're going to make us paint things for them. They're going to make us write cover letters for them. And they're going to just use us as AI.
Well, you can't force a human being to make art. We have to. It has to have to be have to be moved to do something.
Oh, I don't know if that's true or not.
I
Have you
can't be
seen
held at
podcasts?
gunpoint and just start painting. I'm not sure
I
what comes
would.
out of that.
I would. It would be bad.
You think it would be bad? You wouldn't like rise to the occasion and be like, I made my masterpiece under this
Oh, I would lie
crazy
about that
pressure.
for sure. I'd be like, look at this masterpiece, and the person with the gun would be like, no.
The robot with the gun.
The robot. It's funny that they're robots and they still have a gun problem. I can't send my kid to robot school. Like the robot cops are standing by doing nothing. It's like, come on, you can just push a button and deactivate him. Just deactivate him. And they're like, well, I'm actually playing Pokemon Go on my phone.
Yeah, I'm on break.
All cops are bots.
Man.
I think that's a good charity. Everyone loves robots.
Yeah.
So here we go. We'll get into our 6 bets. Generally, I'll list my 3 first because Austin needs to know how much time remains on our non-premium Zoom for him to list his. So I have 3 bets. I have 2 Chiefs-Ravens, and I have 1 49ers-Lions bet. My first Chiefs-Ravens is very simple. Will there be more Chiefs dropped passes or total turnovers in the game? A thing that could easily be 9-9. If this is 9-9, I don't know what the score of the game is going to be. Will there be? You know what I tried to do, Austin, this week is I tried to not involve any pop stars. I tried to not involve. I so badly wanted to just do a Jason Kelsey bet because I absolutely am in love with that guy, and I think that this is the most wholesome thing that has happened, and I have had a good time watching people love what he did and hate when they show a pop star and think it has nothing to do with anything else. I'm just doing straight some football-y things here, but a little weird. Chiefs drops or total turnovers is my first one.
Okay.
And what is there more of? You can if it's a push, it's a push. My next one is at any point does Isaiah Pacheco ever stand up in a funny way?
Oh.
Ooh.
So, because this guy, sometimes when he gets knocked down, he does push-ups for a second and stands up. Sometimes he sort of rolls around on the ground and stands up. Does he get up super quick in a way that makes you think everyone else is, like, lagging? He behaves and moves in such an odd way. The way you've seen, the Chiefs did a TikTok where they just showed Pacheco how people describe him running, and he didn't seem to enjoy that they were doing this to him. He was like, it was like TikToks that are like, look at Pacheco, he runs like a broken wind-up toy, and he's like, okay.
I mean, I wouldn't want to see something like that
and they're
either.
all like he runs like Sonic the Hedgehog or like
Right.
funny, and they're all
Yeah,
funny
he runs like he's angry at the ground. He
right,
you
and
know
he's
run,
like, that
runs
was
like
the
a
only one that
toddler.
he liked. But yeah, people are like he runs like a toddler that stole a toy, and he's like, okay.
If I drink water strange and then everyone thinks it's funny and they're showing me videos laughing at how the
Right.
way I drink water, I wouldn't love that.
Especially if your job was to drink water on TV.
Yeah, literally running is the first title of his job.
And so, but he is so energetic, and it's so infectious, and he gets he likes to lay out hits. Like even his touchdown he scored last week, he ran over a linebacker and they both just stood up into each other. That's how hard he runs.
Would that have counted?
Oh yeah, because he backbended to the ground and then rose up like a Terminator, who would just remember in Men in Black when he shoots the guy's head and it comes back.
Yes.
The arms dealer. That's how Pacheco stood up. Was like that arms dealer's head reinflating. So I would have counted that. He does it a lot. And then
he is a. I feel like that you could have even gone with a bet of does his helmet come off? Because there has been. In fact, I think I've seen fewer run plays from Isaiah Pacheco where his helmet stayed on the whole time.
Yeah, it's unfortunate how sometimes he keeps running when it comes off. Because you're like, no. And then
that's how CTE happens.
He's giving Vontae's perfect CTE with his helmet off already. That's how hard he hits. I heard of this. People were talking about how we used to all enjoy the jacked up segments. Do you remember, and how bad that looks now? And they were like, look, if you want to talk about Vontae's perfect or something and how hard he hits, that's fine, but you should have to read Antonio Brown's Twitter timeline first. If you want to go watch those old clips and enjoy them, read this.
Well, now him and Antonio Brown and Chandler Jones want to they want to start a podcast together.
Yes.
And because Chandler Jones does not believe in CTE.
If we're going to let Chandler Jones and Antonio Brown start a podcast, it needs to be like when Creed started a blog on The Office, where someone just opens up a Word document and tells them that's a podcast. I think if you just open up a note app and start voice dictation and tell them that's podcast.
Yeah, give them those Echo mics that like the karaoke mics that you can get at Walmart or something.
Yeah.
Just hand them those and be like, "Yeah, guys, go! It's recording."
Yeah, I think that would be a healthy thing. So that's my does Pacheco over stand up my way. My last bet is Lions 49ers. The last time the Lions won a road playoff game was against the 49ers in 1957. It's just there wasn't NFL or a Super Bowl. This is pre-Super Bowl.
This is NFL championship.
It's been so long since the Lions have won things that when people describe what they won, it doesn't even sound like an award. They're like, well, the Lions actually in 1957 they won the all-around get-together, go for it, and you're like, what? That's what they called the championship.
Yeah.
They were exclusively white defensive backs the last time the Lions were good. So it's been since 1957, and they beat the 49ers in that game. To win whatever to go on to.
They were actual
the Browns.
49ers back then.
Right. Back then, these were prospectors.
Yeah.
And they still had a better outlook.
You guys remember that game?
We were all there.
We've all seen it.
This game was communicated word of mouth, like Wilt Chamberlain's 100-point game, where you're like, I don't know if I believe you anymore.
They wrote the final score down on a sheet of paper
and held it up. It was actually papyrus. They had to weave together and sift through water. This game, the 49ers were up 27-7, and then the Lions came back and won 31-27. Doesn't matter for my bet. 1957. This bet has 3-1 odds. Will there be any plays of exactly 19 or 57 yards?
Oh, wow.
Last week we did a bet called 13 going on 30 about 13-yard plays or the 13 seconds versus 30-yard plays, and then the Bills decided to not throw the ball down the field the whole game. And there was only one exactly 13-yard play last week. It was the Bills touchdown. Will there be any 19 or 57-yard plays? Both teams had a 19-yard play in their playoff game last week.
That 19, I feel like there's a lot of 19-yard
And this
plays.
is 3-1.
This is 3-1.
So if it hits, it pays out 3-1, and I think I know what that even means. I looked it up on Grand Theft Auto Casino.
What happens if we get a 57-yard play, and then the person at the end of the play bleeds out to honor Heinz Ketchup 57 varietals?
Ooh.
Is that 6-1?
That should be 6-1.
That should, I'll do 6-1.
So 6-1 is blood with the 57-yard
6-1
play.
Just if there's blood in the game at any point
At all.
bumps this up. Last week, Josh Allen cut his hand open for attention.
Right.
If that happens or something, this would go up to 6-1 if there's any blood.
Okay.
So Mahomes is obsessed with ketchup. He puts on a steak. This used to be the storyline before everyone said he was the Antichrist.
Yep.
And he plays for Lamar Hunt, whose family makes the worst ketchup you've ever seen in your life.
Yeah.
Clark Hunt, Lamar Hunt was his father.
Right.
And then it's just so funny that Mahomes started doing commercials for a different. He briefly was sponsored by a different ketchup that is so famously associated with another NFL team. Like it's absolutely. It's like if he did a Gillette razor commercial.
Yeah, right.
And he played for like Eric Norelco.
Yeah.
He was the coach of that Lions team in '57.
Eric Norelco,
Yeah,
right? He
he was.
invented razors. I think the Lions lost to everyone from Red Dead Redemption 2. And the last time they played in a game, syphilis was what the game ended because of. Okay, those are my 3 bets. Chiefs drops or total turnovers. Does Pacheco stand up funny? I hope it's not because he's concussed.
I was gonna get
Yeah,
some clarity
that's-
on that actually.
Right.
I don't know
right.
if Pacheco can get a concussion. I think he can give the ground CTE. But that's famously.
Yeah.
And I want to talk about a famous Chiefs-Bills concussion moment in a little bit, but let's get Austin's bets out here.
Okay. My bet actually fits very well with Daniel's charity that he's playing for. This first bet is called Bot Purdy. As we know, Brock Purdy is often referred to as a robot because he is just so even keel, like just does what is needed of him and is oddly good at it. That's why, which is probably one of the reasons why he performed so poorly last week because the game was in the rain.
Much
He was
like
malfunctioning.
Amazon, he is a robotic distribution system that is very
Yes.
flawed on the weekends.
Right. Yeah, right. Exactly. So we all know that robots only speak in binary, right? 1s and 0s. So in Brock Purdy's final stat line, that's completions, attempts, yards, touchdowns, interceptions, and quarterback rating. So of those, like the main stats, how many 1s or 0s are in there? All right. I'm setting the over-under at 4.5. So there are 13, potentially 14 numbers that there are options. That would be about a third of it. Are there over/under 4.5
Because the quarterback
ones?
rating could be one extra digit or something like that.
Correct. It could be 100.6 or whatever. So or if it's 99, obviously that's one less number. But how many 1s or 0s are in his final stat line? My next bet. I'm just calling it kicking it because I couldn't think of a funnier pun. But Kyle will come up with a funnier pun, and we'll reveal it halfway into the bet. Tyler Bass missed the kick last week to send the Chiefs to their 6th straight, no pun intended, Tyler Bass, I'm sorry, AFC championship. He's since deleted his social media. But obviously Bills Mafia does what Bills Mafia does in reality to donate $100,000 to a local cat shelter that he is a brand ambassador for. Which that has happened
We actually
regularly
just talked
enough.
about how if he made that kick, how many cats would have died.
That's what I'm thinking. That's what I've should kickers start intentionally missing kicks, at least doing so in Buffalo?
Beforehand,
So
they're just walking out there with a big Big Brothers Big Sisters program patch on their shirt, and then they shank the kick.
Right. It's pretty selfish of him to make a kick now. That's what I'm
Feels
getting
like
from
it.
all of this.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
In New
it's,
England, it's shellfish of him, but I hear what you're saying.
folks. Yeah, that's the thing. Why is he an ambassador for a cat shelter? Shouldn't he be an ambassador for an aquarium? Tyler Bass. Folks.
I don't have the soundboard close.
It's probably
Can you make a
good
fish
thing.
noise?
A fish, yeah. It was just underwater.
good
It was just
job.
one of those
I
quiet ones.
I bought it.
So in the if the Bills Chiefs game was every kicker's nightmare, the AFC Championship is every kicker's dream because you've got literally 2 of the best kickers in the entire sport. Justin Tucker going up against Harrison Butker. The bet for this week, simple.
Could've
Is
called this
there
butt
a
tuck.
Okay,
butt
there
tuck.
it is. I called that. I should get a payout for that bet. Is there a missed field goal this week? Now, if you choose yes, and there is, you will get $300 extra added to your total.
Is this both games?
No,
No.
just.
I was like, I
Harrison
wish it was the one
Butker,
with
Justin
the 2
Tucker.
shaky kickers outside. In
Yeah,
the rain.
yeah, right.
And not the 2 best kickers in the league in nice, crisp weather.
Yeah.
Where do we land on extra points?
Yeah, You know what? I will allow extra points because I feel like that is these guys are so good that if they miss a kick, I think it'll still be a shocker. Like even if it's an extra point. So I
Yeah,
will
there was
include
that year
extra
Butker
points.
missed more extra points than other kicks combined.
He
which
missed
was
one
very
in the
crazy.
Super Bowl last year.
Yeah, he
an
did.
extra point.
Yeah,
That's right.
he's
That's
somehow
right.
really bad at extra points. It's like it's like a vaccine thing for him, where he's like, one jab, no thanks.
All right, and then my last bet of the week is my pop culture bet of the week, and my alternate title for this one is "Hughes It or Lose It." I don't know if you guys know this, but Hugh Hefner back in the news again, and it's because his
Finally.
widow, yeah, right, his widow Crystal Hefner revealed in a new memoir called Only Say Good Things, Surviving Playboy and Finding Myself, that Hugh Hefner wasn't savvy sexually despite his reputation. This is giving hope to all men out there, describing her experience as, quote, odd and robotic. Again, there's a theme with this episode today, and it is
You're telling
very...
me the 108-year-old guy wasn't good at sex?
Now, she now realizes that her late husband may not have even enjoyed sex with her either, individually or during orgies. She wrote saying, quote, like Hef was just going through the motions of something that had once been fun and sexy, or maybe it was never fun and sexy. She claimed that during sex, Hugh would stare blankly at the ceiling mirror while it was her turn to mount him.
It's wild to accidentally describe killing someone.
Yeah, maybe I think we
Has
know how
any
he did.
man in the history of the world saw the signs on the wall and noped out quite like Hugh Hefner? This guy was like, if I'm around in a month, no one will favorably remember me. You know what I mean? The world was changing, and he's like, I'm not meant for 2018. I
No.
am not. Goodbye.
Yeah.
I will be favorably portrayed in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, and that will be the only time you think about me after that.
Yeah, right.
So what is the bet here?
Oh, wait. No, I also have to throw in this fun fact. He was apparently relied heavily on erectile dysfunction drugs so much to the point where he eventually went deaf in one ear and stopped having sex in 2014, which left Crystal feeling, quote, relieved.
You know, that ear that he went deaf in was the one society spoke into. Society as a whole had been whispering into that deaf side for a while.
Of all the senses, I'm not sure hearing is the one that I needed during sex.
Right. But, okay. Definitely not him. He wasn't exactly taking feedback into account.
No.
I want to know, was he actually taking erectile dysfunction pills? Is that the side effect? Like, is that listed on
Yes.
the side of a
I'm pretty
Viagra?
sure he
That
was shoving his face into a pile like it was Wolf of Wall Street.
if you take too much, you'll just eventually get Beethoven. So since the Playboy Mansion was in California, we're going to take this bet out to California for the NFC Championship. In Lions Bucks, are there
Lions Niners,
six?
but
Sorry,
dream.
Lions Niners. Yeah, Lions Niners. Sorry, Lions Niners. In Lions Niners, are there 6 to 9 scoring plays?
Ooh, that's fun.
So 6, 7, 8, or 9 hit.
Yeah. Are there like scoring plays? Like
Yes.
a field goal would be one.
Yep.
A touchdown would be one. Touchdown extra point will count as one.
Okay.
But anytime
bet.
a point, a safety would also count for the bet.
I don't think
so
you can
6
have
to
for
9.
a Hugh Hefner based bet. I don't think you're allowed to throw a safety in there in any capacity. This is a man who did not enact much protection. Great. Well, let's. All right, Dan, if you want to throw down your money and where it's at.
Okay. These are some tasty bets. I like these. So I have $100 to play with, right?
1,000.
$1,000
to play with.
Yeah.
Wow. My lock is, to me, I have a quite obvious lock. Pacheco stands up in a funny way. It can be interpreted so many ways. There could be some dispute next week.
Yeah.
We can be arguing.
The thing is,
Yeah.
I think he's going to do it in a way where there isn't any dispute.
So it'll be just quite obvious.
It's like The Rock getting up from 3 count. You might get like a Brahma Bull back spring or something like that. All right, so I'm putting your lock on that. How much on that one?
500.
Wow.
What if he
Yeah.
gets hit and just never gets up for the rest of the game?
Then honestly, if they take him out on a stretcher, that's a pretty funny way to get up.
But he
So
didn't
that counts. That counts.
I think if they go vertical, Hannibal
what
Lecter
if-
style,
What if he's like the
that's good.
Undertaker and he just sits up on the stretcher?
I think we count that, and then he like tries
Take
to get
that, Damar Hamlin. Nice fake punt.
Oh, jeez.
Sorry,
so 500 on Pacheco standing up.
Okay.
I think that is my lock.
Okay.
And then for a parlay, man,
It was funny that the Damar Hamlin fake punt nearly killed the Bills in that
Yeah.
game.
I mean, you can argue it did. They had 10 players on the
The
field.
Chiefs had 10 players on the field. We were literally down the count.
They did that for Damar. They're like, remember when the Bills did that the first play of the next season?
Right. It's like after Kobe died and they set that basketball on the free throw line. It was really moving.
Oh my god.
Everyone really was watching the Timberwolves game to see where a basketball would be set because a guy was in a helicopter.
I'm going to parlay $250 on a butt tuck. So I think there will be a missed field goal or extra point in the Chiefs-Ravens game. I'm going to parlay that with more Chiefs dropped passes than total turnovers.
Please be 1-0.
It can be 1-0. I think that the Chiefs wide receivers' ineptitudes has not reared its ugly head quite yet.
We'll give that a 3.1 multiplier.
A
for the
3.1
parlay. Does that
multiplier.
sound good?
Yes, it does. So 250 on that, and that's for 3 times my money. And then I think I have one more. I have $250 more to play with.
$250.
Yeah. Well, how much did you put on Pacheco?
500 on Pacheco.
Oh, wow.
That's my lock.
A half a 10 Benjamins, I call that.
That you always do.
So it's easier.
More Chiefs drops and a butt tuck, plus a butt tuck. And then my last 250, I'm going to go with this 19 or 57 yard play in Lions Niners.
You're going to say yes?
I'm going to say yes. I like this one a lot.
I already wrote down yes for that one. All of the money that's ever been lost on this show is betting on something fun to happen.
Yeah.
Is this not
Nothing
fun?
fun.
No,
ever
I think
happened.
this is fun,
This
and that's
is
why it's
fun.
definitely not going to hit.
Gotcha.
There'll be 13 18-yard plays in this game.
Well, that's
Yeah,
what I'm saying.
right.
That is kind of where my mind went because an explosive play is 20 yards or longer.
Yeah. This is Yak City, these two teams, though. So I think 19 yards is in play.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
going for a 57-yard. That's what I want. I want a Jameson Williams 57-yard reception. That's what I'm looking for.
Okay.
Let me ask you this: if Jameson Williams gets tackled after a 57-yard gain, but there's like a face mask that tacks on 15 more yards, is that 57-yard gain,
No.
or is that
Yes,
plus
I would
the
say it
15
is.
added
Austin,
on?
You did freeze. Maybe I froze. No, Austin did. I would say that counts as a 57-yard game simply because that's the amount of yards he would get on the play.
Right.
The receiver.
Right.
Austin's back. Maybe it's me
Okay.
freezing. I would say yes because that's the amount of yards he would get. If it negates the play, obviously no.
I'll take a 19-yard play, but I am looking for the 57-yard.
Story of my life.
Yeah.
All right.
What
So
if
that's
what
your
if it's a
last 250 there?
19-yard gain and they get enough penalties on the play to make it a 57-yard?
Well, then that we call a par play. That's where the play parlays.
I like that.
Thank you. Anyways, you could have called the Kicking It Bass Pro Shop because these guys are actually legit professional kickers.
That's fun.
Nice.
Well, best of luck to you, Daniel,
Thank
on these
you.
bets. We got a good
Thank you.
potential here. Let everyone know now, Latumba, sorry we love football. It's a weird time to jump. It's been promoted on here with Jamel and with Dane before. Keep promoting it. Let them know.
It is, and Austin has been a guest on the show as well. Kyle
Yeah.
produces the show. He joins in on the picks. He's very involved, obviously, because the Chiefs' continued success. So a lot of Chiefs talk on there. Sorry, we love football. We're in our 5th season. We do a show once a week. We have a lot of fun. We are disgusted that we are as addicted to the NFL as we are, but we cannot help ourselves. So
Yeah.
we have a place to talk about it. And
The
that
apology's
is
in the title of the podcast.
it really is. We say sorry to end every show as well. It's just a big apology fest. And then also have a special that I directed called Dad Jokes. Mo Welch has a stand-up special. It's on Veeps. That is the Live Nation streaming service. Go check that out. Very proud of that project. Having a good time putting that out there.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Best of luck on the bets.
Thank you.
Sweet. All right, another big shout out to Dan. Sorry We Love Football is so much fun doing that podcast.
I was
It's
literally
fun.
like, that is one of the most fun podcasts. Like, people need to check it out because they put a lot of work into that, and it shows, and it's really well done. It's very funny. 3 very hilarious guys who we've now ran through the gauntlet on this podcast.
Yeah,
so
they've all done a good. Just it is. They hate football, and as we all do. Like, you hate that you're trapped in a fandom, and they do a good job. I'm trying to think of what they said they hated about football this weekend. It was hard to get a Chiefs fan to talk about hating much, but
yeah, right.
Daniel
right.
hates the how the polarization of Brock Purdy fans was his thing. He's an Eagles fan. He's very over the 49ers. Anyways, go check it out. I want to drop my money on my bets here real quick. I'm actually skipping Chiefs drops or total turnovers. It makes me too sad to think about it. I think there's
That would
someone
be
literally outside right now using a leaf blower.
It would. I can't hear it. I'm telling you.
Okay, then let's keep going, baby.
It's like my construction earlier. I was so self-conscious about it, and you told me you couldn't hear it, so I'm hoping it doesn't come through on the final
people know what's
version
up.
of the pod. Yeah.
So Chiefs drops or total turnovers, I'm gonna skip. I'm skipping that one. It makes me too sad thinking about either of them. I am going to put $300 on Pacheco getting up in a funny way, and that's going to be my lock. I am putting 300 on that one. I'm just so into that bet. I'm putting $200 on yes, a 19 or a 57 will happen. That 3-1 odds and 6-1 with blood is just too hard to pass up.
Yeah.
I'm putting $200 on the over on Bot Purdy's binary code hitting. I'm putting $150 on no missed kicks. And then I'm going to put $150 on yes for 6 to 9 scoring plays happening in the Lions 49ers game.
Okay. I am also going I'm going to go $100 on turnovers. I think the Chiefs are like call me crazy. Chiefs are putting it together. That was their best offensive game
Marquez
of the
Valdes-Scantling
season.
had 2 incredible catches.
Yeah,
like
that,
2
that was
catches where if Diggs did that, people are like, give him a giant contract again.
In the game the Chiefs needed it the most, they put together their best offensive
first play,
big
game.
Play
to MVS. What are you doing?
Yeah.
I thought it was
right.
Rashee Rice when he caught it because it got caught.
That was winning in spite of Matt Nagy is what they did on Sunday. So I'm going with that said, I'm going turnovers though. I could just see Lamar pooping the bed or running to the locker room. Yeah. And pooping. Yeah. Isaiah Pacheco getting up in a normal way. I was going to say no. And then you guys both betting yes talked me into it. I'm going $100 yes.
There you go.
So $100 on turnovers, $100 on yes. I'm going no on the 1957 bet. I don't think there's going to be.
Yeah, I mean, that's just smart.
There's
99 options for a play.
But this is what happens.
A 1-2 in 50 chance.
You get that payout. You're going to get that 3-1 payout and just take an even bigger lead on me this season. So, Bot Purdy, I'm taking the under.
What's your amount of money
zeros?
On the other one?
Oh, the other one, $100. So $100 all on your bets.
Okay.
And then I'm doing $300 on the under for Bot Purdy.
Okay.
I do think he is a robot, but I don't think he will be able to read a stat line because there will be not that many ones and zeros. Kicking it, I'm going to say $300 on no, there is not a missed field goal, and that is going to be my lock of the week. $300, no, not a missed field goal.
That's both of these 2 teams' locks. Do you know what I mean? This is consistently.
Oh yeah, right. Like this is like the thing they can bank on. Like if it could be like a watch, they're gonna attempt like a 68-yarder at the end of the half.
Not even at the end of the half, in the first drive of the game.
yeah, right. And then my for the pop culture bet of the week, I'm going $100 on yes on the 6 to 9 scoring plays.
Great.
I think there's gonna be a lot of scoring in this game, but I think it's gonna be one of those things where it's like there's a lot of I don't know. I think like defenses are really going to like step it up, and offenses are going to get nervous because these teams are. I don't know. I mean, technically, this is Brock Purdy's first NFC Championship, considering last year.
Unless you consider both plays he played last year.
Yeah, right.
Well, hey everybody, we got good bets this week. Check it out. Next week we got a very special life betting episode. So that's going to be exciting. I don't want to tease it too much, but that'll be looking forward to. It's literally going to be almost as meaningless as the Pro Bowl. So we'll have that to look forward to next week.
We're
Best of luck on
actually
your
going to
bets.
challenge it. Yeah, we're going to challenge it to be. We're going to try and make it more meaningless than
Yeah.
the Pro Bowl. But yeah, yeah.
Then
Follow Korked Bats at Korked Bats with a K on all the socials to keep tabs of the rundown of how our guests do every week. But
Yeah.
good luck on your bets.
Yep.
I love you.